Hello, 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 and hello. Welcome back to another recording of ASMR with other. Just me sketching out the last little bit of my fist. The fist that I drew, I think it was. I apologize, you're going to be hearing me click. I thought I'd be able to get away with listening to some music while I did this, and quite frankly, it's distracting. So, just another episode just to get it out there to start building a community. Though I am actually doing quite a lot of work behind the scenes to start working on something big. A lot of people, it's been something that I've been working on with a friend of mine for, God, how long has it been? I can't even remember when we first started working on it. But in any case, one thing that we're doing is, seriously, Gimli. So, I have a castle that I made for Gimli, consisting of 3 different stories where he's able to run through it and go to the higher levels of it to the point where he is capable of getting up on top of the whole castle. And he's gonna hide there. Gimli's done with his castle. The Castle Del Gimli. So what I'm doing right now is I am putting the shading into my fist. So one thing that's very, very hard about, at least for me, it was difficult because of for being white, it's hard to capture the shading. It's hard to capture correctly what I'm seeing while using the paper to dignify how much white there is. It was actually it was actually easier to draw the black man's face, just because it's like, well, I get to use more graphite. So it was a lot easier to put down expression. It's easier to mold the face out of the graphite. As you can see there, nothing's perfect. You never have to have anything perfect. It only is as perfect as you yourself want it to be. So remember, it's never about what the finished product looks like, but the experience gained in doing so. The harder we push ourselves, the better we become. So, right now, I've been working on a project it's older than, I genuinely cannot tell you when we started it. It's been years and years and years. But one of the things that I just decided to start doing was trying to put together the means to accomplish it. The issue being is, in order to accomplish it, do I sell the idea off to a corporation, which I have no issues. So I have reservations. I have my own thoughts and opinions, but I don't mind selling ideas to larger corporations if it means getting monetary compensation for it, and the ability to hold creative freedom within the show. The issue is, they don't want you to have that. They don't like you being creative. They want to siphon you for as much as you can give them. So I decided to go about it a different way. I decided that it's about time a specific field that Americans enjoy becomes decoupled from the old ways of doing it. I'm talking about we're independent from those that would dictate how things are done. Now, of course, I'm going to talk about this in a very vague sense, mostly because of the fact that it serves multiple purposes as to why I would talk like this. For one, I plan on running a specific people through the channel. Not, they won't be on the channel, but that my videos will express particular points for right now that particular people need to hear. But as of right now, it's just all ASMR. The first thing, one of the things I was running into as an issue was coming up with a song title. Because of the theme of what I'm going for, just because it's part of my game, I just did to do things that make me kind of giggle on the inside. And obviously, that I don't want to waste time having to be like, oh, I need to have the perfect title. Oh, I need to have, this has to be exactly the way it needs to be. No. I am the, well, as long as I am the horseshoes and hand grenades approach to a lot of things. Unless it's something very particular. Then if it's correct, it has to be done correctly, then it will be done correctly. Like, for instance, my first job. If flooring is going to go in, it is going to go in the best way possible. Choosing a name for a video, on the other hand, horseshoes and hand grenades. Now, what I have a friend that's coming back. She's currently in Key West, which I pray that she has a very fun time. Because the last time we went, it was entertaining. Walking around with pineapple skin. What is the skin on the, like a pineapple cup with some sort of mixed cocktail on the inside. Alcoholic, of course. And I think I went down. That was when my sister was living down there. She's no longer living there. That was when my sister was living there, and that's when we got to see my sister down in Florida. Oh, that was a fun time. Actually, it was with my friend that's down there now, which, yeah. We went on a cruise. First time I ever went on a cruise. Went to the Bahamas. Ended up meeting a man there. Oh man, that man was absolutely fantastic. Such a wild... So it was something that's very interesting while being down in the Bahamas is just being able to talk with the locals. Obviously, he was a local man. We went to this one Pirate Cove place. I forget I have the brochure for the restaurant that's afterwards. But it would go through all of the little things here and there of how the pirates used to sort of be like. How they would sort of handle themselves and whatnot. But they had a great impression on these smaller islands, especially since the original occupier of the Bahamas, I think, was the British, and I think there's a statue of Christopher Columbus there, but don't quote me on that. I know that there was a lot of structural places built for defense by the British on the island, which is actually just now basically that they're just buildings now. It's really funny because to go there, they're literally just handing out rum. Like there was this one shop that it would sell rum cakes. That's all sold rum cakes and rum. Back when I was drinking a lot heavier, that place was awesome. God, I would love to go back and have another rum cake. Though I think it would destroy my stomach. Oh well. So, it was funny because they would use rum in almost everything. I'm talking, there was a fruit salad that was topped with rum. And it was great because at the time, I would love to eat. Food was one of my favorite things. Not because I was heftier, but I wouldn't say like disgustingly fat. I was a bit on the porkier side. But when he loved having Americans because Americans ate. So it was really funny because the guy would just keep giving us free samples. He would test something out and he would just hand it to us to see what we thought of it because, again, Americans know how to eat. Like it may not... Oh, someone scared. Someone scared my rabbit. So it's funny because he would give us these. So it was in like one of those 2-ounce Dixie cups, and it had a bunch of fruit salad in it. Obviously, my friend, being a bit more ladylike, would use a spoon and eat out of it. Here, me as a barbarian took it as a shot, all once. All of the fruit in my mouth with the rum in my mouth. It was actually quite enjoyable. I'll be honest with you. It was one of the best experiences I've had. Was the ability to just not care. When the guy saw me do that, he immediately broke down laughing and said it was, I have never once in my life seen a man do that. I'm going to give you whatever you want. So the guy came back with more fruit salad, and again, just like before, took it as a shot. The guy loved it. I don't know why he found it so funny. He actually even recommended that because there they don't have alcohol laws. They don't have quite like we do. Which actually, to be fair, kind of want to get to that point. You would legally be able to walk around drinking a beer. That was fun. He also made a joke. Now this is the thing that's funny, is that he made a joke. Go to this beer store. I go there frequently, and to pick up it was like 3 or 4 I think it was 4 bottles of a particular beer, and it was like it's the store's deal. That's not really like advertised too much, I guess. And he said to then bring me back one. So I went over to the store, checked it out just to see because like we're in the Bahamas. I have no idea where we're going. We are literally at the don't want to tread too far off from the boat so we don't get left behind kind of deal. So, unfortunately, but whatever. So, we go, pick up some of the beer, and then we come back. Here, I guess the guy was joking. God, buddy. Stop. Sorry, I have to kick my rabbit out of there. Or he's just going to keep going back there and chewing on more of the cardboard. So, I went, got the beer, brought one back, and gave it to him. The man never anticipated me actually doing that. So, it was really interesting, because the guy then took a pamphlet of the restaurant, wrote his name down, and said, whenever you come back to the Bahamas, you make sure you come see me first. I still have the pamphlet, and I'm not going to say his name just because I don't want to talk about people if they don't want to be talked about. I'm okay with talking about people that I personally know more than like, let's say if you're the equivalence of a family member, you're getting talked about, not in bad ways, but I want to talk about you, to whoever I want to. But yeah, so one of the bigger things that I've been doing is working out. Working out too. Been enjoying that. Another thing that I've been doing is been putting together a means for people to try to strive to be better. Now, it sounds weird, but I'm trying to give the opportunities for people. Whether it's something that they themselves have always been wanting to do, or it's something I need in order to accomplish goals. So the first part that I started working on was I'm tired of seeing the people that I care about wasting away. Whether that's they're doing nothing but laying on the couch and watching TV, doing nothing for hours on end every day, or doing nothing but eating yourself into oblivion because you lack any sense of control. The people that I know, that I surround myself with, I always it's weird, and it's weird to go back and talk about myself, but myself is the only frame of reference in this reality, so why not? Like true reference, either, too. I may understand the nature of other people and know how they tick and know how, more or less, how they will talk, and I know other people but myself. I can look back into my memories and learn more than I can from just any book. And I'm not saying reading is good or bad. I'm not. For me personally, I find learning from my environments is the best, whether it's good or bad. One of the things that that eventually started bothering me is I'm working on myself, and I see the change within my life. Then I go to, and now this is not trying to pass any sort of judgment. It's not. It's just merely seeing reality as it is and being utterly disgusted with it. There's people that would say, that are more cynical than I am, that don't believe change is possible. Of course, change is possible. We need change. We change our habits, we change our diets, we change everything about us. Technically, every 7 years, you're a new you. Your body remakes itself every year. You have certain parts, of course. So the dead skin, the dead cells of our body are... I'm not sure what happens to them. Probably gets broken down and repurposed just because the function of our bodies. But we should, and we have to, bring change into our own lives. If we don't, then the only thing left for us is a dead life, only waiting to die. It's probably why I don't believe I'll ever... It's funny, my mom tells me that she's probably never going to retire because she never will have the means to. I then reply with, I don't plan on retiring. Ever. Nope. I plan on taking care of my body. I plan to do what is necessary in order to live as long as humanly possible. Now, that does not mean that I'm going to go ahead and, that doesn't mean that I want to go ahead and start practicing black magics to get my youthful appearance. Those freaks. Why do they have to do that? God, I'm talking about like what's that one, the Winchester House, where it's all just a bunch of rooms and apparent. No. In any case, so I wanted to start creating a means for people, honestly, just to get excited about. Like, oh man, it's weird. This is going to be a weird thought, but I'm actually terribly grateful for the past year. Sounds weird. But what it did was, it forced me to analyze myself, truly. I mean, truly analyze myself. Where before you would, at least for myself, I would sort of, what we call meditation, allowing just thoughts to bubble to the surface so that we would understand ourselves a little bit better. Sorry, I'm trying to stop Gimli. So that we would boil thoughts to the surface so that we would understand what our subconscious is thinking about, what we were dealing with that we aren't even aware of, right? So you deal with the thoughts that are on the top of your mind, and then you work downward. Sorry. No. So you can do that whenever. Surprise, surprise. You can do that in the car when you're driving. Of course, you want to make sure you keep yourself coherent enough to drive, of course. But it's always good to take any opportunity you have to continue improving yourself. For me, it was because I know for a while there I didn't have the need to drive because someone else was driving the work vehicle. I was able to sit there and just be lost in thought, just to do whatever means to think. Now, of course, a while there I was playing phone games like Brave Exvius. I was playing Summoner's Wars. I do enjoy Summoner's Wars, actually. It was so cute. Oh, sorry, puppy. I accidentally kicked my rabbit. Sorry, buddy. I would just play phone games. I would just end up playing phone games. Well, eventually it got to the point where phone games just simply couldn't help it. I couldn't just keep... I was also spending money in it. It wasn't good at any stretch of imagination. But the issue being is that at the time I was putting energy into something that not at all would benefit me in the long run. What benefits me from spending my time into this game? I'm sure I learned some strategic opportunity, like learning strategy, learning how to use different people, learning how to organize teams depending on what's good. But in the end of the day, it's like, one, I'm not working with real people. These aren't real. This isn't how the abilities a character uses in a game does not equate to how a person thinks, the nature of a person. It doesn't mean that when I look at a person's face, because I gain skills at being able to read a situation in a game doesn't mean now I have skills to be able to read a person in real life. Because that's the only thing we got. We only have ourselves with each other. Now, of course, we got, we'll call it outside influences that to believe that we don't. You're blinding yourself from reality, which is fine. Some people, it's hard to imagine things above their own ability to process, which is okay. It's okay to understand the weak spots. It's okay to understand your strengths. It's when you believe that defines you is when you're missing the point. I'm sorry, if you hear Gimli chewing on cardboard in the background, I legitimately cannot stop him anymore. He is just going to do it. I've been trying to use my foot to kick, not kick him away, but here, shoo. He doesn't care anymore. He's just gonna do it. So, a few other things. Let's see, what else? Probably coming, but let's, in order to express more of why I think that way too, is because one of the games that I really, really enjoy, right? Hi there, buddy. He's climbing up on me. Hi. He's such a good rabbit. He's in the best way possible. He really very much so trusts me, which is it's almost like the equivalence of being honored. Like, I am honored that this prey animal has an attraction to me. I think the word is cathartic, but I think there's a better word to describe it. It's a joy that it's hard to express, that almost seems... Well, he's also my first pet, so to gain such trust from your first animal companion it's nice, actually. So, one of the things that I've been trying to work on is developing, in layman's terms, a lot of people wouldn't get this unless you watch sort of like anime or you play video games. Unfortunately, I may be talking in a pseudo language people may not understand, which is fine. You're here for the s and the p and stuff like that, which is fine. But I am, lack of better terms, HE double hockey sticks bent on starting a guild. People to come together to accomplish goals that they could not otherwise finish on their own. Now, I've been working on the structure of the guild, because to me it's weird. It's something I've been doing my entire life without even knowing about it. And to some people, that's hard. That's impossible. How could you be doing something without realizing you're doing it? Ask some people nowadays. So, the first biggest thing is to accomplish so I basically decided to, it's great because those that have watched Fairy Tale understand this. But I have specifically chosen the people that I hang around with because I know that they would be worth hanging around, if you know what I mean. No matter how bad it gets, I see something in other people that can, if just cultivate, almost like I see a seed within everyone that, if cultivated correctly, would basically allow them to flourish. Well, what's the best way to do that other than get them together in almost like a family structure to accomplish a goal that the head of the family wants to see done, right? But at the same time, building up personal skills, building up not like relationship, but like in relation to other people skills, like people skills, there we go. Develop any sort of skill set they may need. One of the biggest ones that all new guild members will have to learn is Vatanian, because all official guild business will be conducted in Vatanian. So any official written documents will all be done in Vatanian. Now the beauty of this is that anyone can see what the guild is doing. One of the things that I do not like is secrets. Sounds weird, but I don't like information withheld from people. I also don't like secret societies, sort of like the Masons. Not that I despise them. Two different ways of looking at it. I actually enjoy the information that they have. They are the equivalents of a bank of information. Quite frankly, very good information, and information I think the general public should know. But since they're unwilling to do that, I think it's time for a pseudo Mason Guild-esque thing to take part and start allowing people to understand the information that they may have. Essentially putting them on a clock. They have X amount of time to start essentially opening up their practices to the public, or their practices are going to be known by the public. And it gets weirder the higher up you go. So, just going to leave it like that. But one of the games that I like to play is Dark Souls. I may be talking about a video game for a little bit, but I think some members of the community would enjoy just hearing my thoughts on Dark Souls. Mostly because Dark Souls was the game that I researched the most about its lore, researched the most about why things were specifically done the way they were. For instance, in Dark Souls, not Demon Souls, in Dark Souls, you had 3 types of actual magic. The first type was sorcery, so you would utilize mana in order to do it. The other one was pyromancy, or life magic, fire. It was anyone can wield it as long as the tool that you were using was strong enough. And the stronger the spell would be, the stronger your fire, or I guess your willpower or whatever. The third one was miracles. Miracles were retelling of the stories of great people, or the gods, technically, which was the original owners of greater souls, right? Not to get too much into the weeds with this, but as time progressed, miracles became weaker because people didn't quite know the language of the stories. They would use mental shortcuts in order to make it easier to cast a spell and whatnot. But it also meant that the strength diminished over time. So as the games progress, the world would die. And it was dying slowly. Very, very slowly. Almost to the point where people were going insane because they actually couldn't die. Because the cycle to bring in the new age was interrupted. It was stopped. It wasn't allowed to transpire naturally. What happened was the age of fire, which is, I won't get too much into it, was stopped. So essentially the age of man wasn't able to happen. The weird thing is that you may not be able to equate it too much to nowadays, but it very much it feels like that. Everything, the TV shows we look at, the video games we play, the movies we watch are just slowly becoming even worse than they were. And I have a feeling it's because the imagination of man was stifled. It was stopped. Nowadays, how many people think up big ideas and want to go and achieve them? What, Elon Musk? How many other people do you know that do big things? Like big things. Things to get excited about. People don't get excited about things anymore. Like, space travel was such a cool idea. But when's the last time we saw NASA want to launch a rocket? Well, we were spending too much money in the Middle East, to fight a war that we didn't even want to be in? Right. No, it was not. In any case, I have a belief that we're coming to the end of the Dark Ages, and a new renaissance is about to come. Now, of course, we got some time. It's probably not out for another 3 years, but we can start working on it. Taking baby steps to ensure our future. Planting, I guess the best way to describe it is planting a seed so that a tree will grow for the shade of our children. Again, I love children. So, one of the first places that I thought would be fun to do, right? So, how do you start a big idea like that? Well, you gotta inspire people. You gotta get people jazzed up for something, right? You can't just be like, oh, well, plant down a flag and be like, this is where we're starting. No. We gotta start with getting the people's imaginations pumping again. Being able to think of big ideas. So I decided to, what's the best way to do it? Well, there was one show that I really, really was fond of, and so was another friend of mine. Mob Psycho 100. Mob Psycho 100 had something in it called the Body Improvement Club. The Body Improvement Club. You're supposed to be in bed, buddy. It's like, what, almost 11 o'clock and you're still up and around and about? I might have to cut that down, so, fun. But one of the things that I thought was important was the Body Improvement Club. So, I wanted to start the Body Improvement Club. Of course, this now because I keep having to walk away and shoo my rabbit away from chewing on the cardboard so it's not too loud. If it ends up, I can't stop him. And I can't cage him up either, which is annoying. Oh well. I wanted to start the Body Improvement Club. What I wanted to do was get people start working on the easiest, literally the easiest thing to do in your life. Just exercise. Is it that hard to do it? No, it's not. I do it roughly almost every day during the week. And I'm talking about full workouts. And I do it on a low caloric intake. So, I can't, so what let's inspire people. Let's get people. Let's get people ready to enjoy a new self. So, I love how the Mob Psycho went about it. Body Improvement Club. No, like they were even willing to bring on Mob, which was he couldn't finish a run without looking like he was about to literally die. So, but he wanted to become better. He desired to, if anything, to impress himself. It could have impressed our girls, true, and I think he did have the prospects of being able to get a girl. But it was to prove something to himself, to prove that a concept that we all know exists, change, to break the cycle that we held ourselves in, to think outside of these black boxes that frame our mind. I was really trying to come up with a song title, and honestly, probably the best one that I could think of is Free Bird. I'm as free as a bird now, and this bird you cannot change. One of the things that I personally liked about just the past couple weeks, really, because I keep experiencing just even greater understanding of myself, and then what the possibilities of what can I accomplish in this life. And I've been trying to understand what the scope of my possibility is. One of the shows that I really enjoyed that expressed this concept really well was Gundam Unicorn. Now, granted, I watched the newer Netflix one before they brought out the cuties. And it was solely based around the idea of potential. And it was equated that the unicorn was potential. Or at least the beast of potential. Now, granted, I had to go back and reread it. But it was interesting, because Harry Potter actually had the exact same tapestry in the Gryffindor. What is it, living quarters? Yeah, the Gryffindor living quarters. Which I wonder if I imagine they were probably trying to get some. Oh, and there was also the time when whoever that the Voldemort was feasting on the unicorn blood. Unicorn blood. It was just a lot of interesting. God, I was so happy to be able to watch that movie again. One of the things that, as a person, I've played Demon Souls, I've played Dark Souls, I've played Skyrim, I've played all the fantasy RPGs and all of them. One of the things that I loved more than anything was magic. Real magic. The idea to be able to use yourself to shape the world around you. And like in reality, to be able to, God, the idea to be able to build a construct, almost like a mechanized body that would function solely off mana. I'm talking about real mana too, not the. One of the interesting things is where did the idea of mana come from? Where did it come from? A lot of people would be surprised to hear it actually originates from the Bible. Yep, the Bible. What it was loosely referred to as life energy, or it was energy compiled inside the box known as Ark of the Covenant. Now, a lot of you are aware of the Ark of the Covenant, as I am, from Indiana Jones. My mother loves Indiana Jones. It's like one of her favorite movies. Don't get you wrong, she likes Harrison Ford probably a little bit more than anything. Well, one of the things that they really portrayed well in it, after researching the Ark of the Covenant and enjoying the Edge of Wonder guys' presentation of it, was that under specific circumstances, it can be used as a life-saving tool or a devastating weapon. Now, how exactly can something be used for both? If you do research, they will tell you that the box was designed by God. Okay, so God used someone in order to design the box, to make it too. But there was also other instructions that came with the box. First one was there was an incense that was of a specific mixture of different spices and herbs, specifically selected, and in a specific ratio that is apparently of the golden ratio, just like the Ark of the Covenant was done in the golden ratio. The incenses was mixed to the golden ratio as well, which I'm not sure how that's possible, but whatever. And they would have to burn the incense before opening the box. Well, we would know what happens when you open a box and there's no incense presence, or we'll refer to as God's incense. Everyone just melted, ghosts were flying around, almost like draining the life of everyone around it. Now, what's interesting is I found out that Huffington Post, I believe it was a 2018 article, found that incenses, specific mixtures, have the ability to block radiation. Well, what is radiation but the waveforms being brought off of a nuclear substance that's generating power? Well, I wonder if opening the Ark of the Covenant without the proper incense being applied was like opening a nuclear reactor. It'd be very interesting. And at the same time, they also referred to as the substance that was inside the Ark of the Covenant was known as manna. We also know that through the Bible, which, if you're not a Christian, is totally okay. We're just talking about interesting things. I just find this stuff fascinating. I would refer to as myself as a man of science. But one of the things that I found interesting was that this food source, you can actually use the manna to create an actual food source. They preyed upon the box, opening up the box to their desires. They needed food. So the box turned the manna into food. Or was it the desires that changed the manna into food? We already have World of Warcraft sayings, World of Warcraft with their mages and to conjure food and water, or conjure biscuits or whatever. I can't help but the one, and then we also have the other ones, which is I forget what the wrapping of Jesus was. It was a wrapping that had his face imprinted on it, and it was the wrapping his body was wrapped in as his soul or his nous or his essence came back into his body, which they proved again through science that it happened. They proved it to us that it happened. And the best part about it is that they said that what was it? It was the only way to get waveforms high enough to leave an imprint like that onto the wrapping was that of something close to an X-ray. But an X-ray coming from inside the body outward. Intense radiation emitting from a body. I wonder if we as a human species is actually capable of developing and harnessing manna within ourselves, which was just the basic building block to this magic we call magic in video games. We already have stories from monks. Monks literally capable of just in a group channeling what they call chi, or it could also be referred to as manna, into a doll. So like a clay figure. And they were able to get the clay figure to move. Now, of course, I talk about things off the top of my head because I have no time to... If you want to go research this, you can go research this. I'm going to go keep enjoying myself. I'm tired of dealing with people's cynicism, even though we have the actual proof in front of your face. If you're unwilling to look up the information, it's not my problem. I'll work with the people that actually want to get things done versus the people that just want to argue, bicker, and try to slow you down. No. We got time. We got a renaissance that's coming, and I want to be right there when people finally awaken to who they truly are. The future is absolutely the brightest thing I see right now, so I have to only look into the present, because if I keep looking into the future, I'll go blind. And it's beautiful, because I don't have to do anything. Well, let me change this. Let me change how I say that. all I have to do is be exactly who I am, who I've been trying to be lately. And I'm talking exactly. The way I speak, the words I use, everything. Trying to hang out with friends because I have goals that have to be completed before bigger things become unlocked, if you know what I mean. I have to. It's weird. It's like I'm saying a lot of things I have to do, but it's not really like I have to do it. Honestly, I could sit here, I could play video games. My friend just bought me Borderlands 3. I can sit here and I can play video games I woke up this early this morning. I could play till 1 o'clock in the morning, have a good character, have good equipment, and then get bored of it. And go on to another game to waste my time with. And to continue down that line until I reach the point where I'm buying games that I wanted to play, but I have no desire to play because I don't care to play. No joke, I was at that point. I have the Steam library. I have a lot of games on my Steam library. Nothing to I have no desire to play this because I've found a new game to play. Only issue is that I need to get other people playing it. Well, how do you get people to play a game, but they have to choose to play? Which is the beauty of it, is I can show them what it's like to play my game. And it will only keep getting better. Because again, which is weird, because it seems like a lot of my thought processes are built off of sort of a pseudo future events, but also it's not directly tied to them. In fact, actually, no matter what happens in the future, my goals will be achieved. They simply cannot stop what's coming. And neither can the people that I truly trust either. The people that I trust can't stop what's coming either. Nor can anyone stop what I'm trying to do. Mostly, and this actually going back to what I was trying to say before Gimli was going all Rambo on the cardboard, is that it always felt like, and this is me just opening myself up, this is to how I think, to a lot of the times I would come across people, and don't let me fool you, this isn't me judging someone, but there's sometimes where I knew as a person that I wanted to be around, that I had to be around. There's one person in my life that gave me the utmost difficult challenge of forcing him to be my friend. Create a scenario where no matter what you choose, you end up choosing what I want you to choose. Not because I'm forcing you. It's because of the fact that you have no other choice. Though, granted, to some that sounds bad. If you knew me, you would know that it's just how I go about doing things. I like games. And with this particular person, I won't mention his name, though he tried throwing me out of his house. I will never let him stop being my friend. And the funny thing is that I think I'm living in his head more so than he thinks he's letting me live there. I enjoy people. I love people. The more people in my life, the better. I absolutely adore how people function, how they function with each other. Like, there's this other guy that I know. Again, no names. He's a bit on the simpler side. Well, a bit is to give him less credit. He's a very simple man. But because he's a simple man, he knows what he likes. There you go. He himself is also easy to read, while it's also easy to tell him what's going on. He doesn't, as far as what I can tell, he never really harbors ill will. He harbors sometimes ill ideas. Now, granted, anyone can harbor an ill idea, so it's not hard for. It's easy. It's actually easy for people to harbor bad ideas, right? So the idea of good and bad. Well, is it holding you back? Is that donut worth eating? Bad ideas. So we can only do as much as we absolutely can, but what determines what we absolutely can do? So far, I've been finding out that it seems as if the potential of man is almost to the point of limitless. We think that it's such a far-fetched idea, it's it's impossible. There has to be some sort of limitation so that we will understand the world around us. No. I just had it proven to me that a man came back to life. And apparently he did it to another person. So quite frankly, a lot of particular people could probably shove it. Seems a little harsh and I apologize, but right now, I think it's the funnest time to be alive. It is so fun right now to just watch as it seems like, because I had a friend, another one. I have a lot of friends. I had another friend that we were talking with. It was about specific topics I won't get into, but one of the things that he expressed to me was, I don't care what it, and this is him. I don't care what it is. I just simply want to create something. He didn't know, like, this feeling, this overwhelming sense of purpose. This overwhelming sense of purpose that I've been feeling over the past, I think, 3 weeks now. I have a strong feeling. Now I'm using feeling as a sense of like gut instinct, my knowledge compared to what's going on, and you could consider basically my guess. My guess is that we're opening up ourselves to more possibility, right? We're not done yet. Now I know I'm not done yet. And I don't think you're done yet either. So, we're coming towards the end of the video. I apologize if this ends up off sync again. The next video that I plan on doing, I plan on having it so that it's more in sync with the video. But if you enjoy my content, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, say, hey, you person behind the mic, you suck. Sorry, I try not to curse. Hey, you person behind the mic, you're not nearly as good as you think you are. And remember, nothing's perfect. Have a good one. Bye-bye.